Hey everyone, Mark Hespman here from On the Mark on Newstalk 1070 KHMO. Follow me on Twitter, on Instagram at Mark Hespin, MarkHespen. All right, week 3 of the NFL is officially behind us. I did this video at this time last week, doing again this week, my official power rankings, and then a quick update on a State of the Union for the Chicago Bears. Where are they at through after week 3's absolutely devastatingly ugly loss in Kansas City? Let's start with the power rankings. Some changes to the power rankings, but no changes actually near the top, and I'll explain why. So let's start this week. Coming in at number 10, the Dallas Cowboys. They fell 2 spots in my power rankings after that loss to Arizona. I had them at number 8, and that was one of those things people were all up in arms. Why are they so low? Why are they so low? I haven't believed in Dallas from the beginning. I have always said this about Dallas. At some point in time, that offense is going to need to make plays for that defense now that Trayvon Diggs is out. And look what happens. The offense couldn't make the plays for the defense when they needed it most, to give their defense a little bit of a break as they were dealing with an onslaught and a really great game plan from the Arizona Cardinals. So the Cowboys, listen, their defense is going to just obliterate some people on some days. It's really well coached, and they still have a ton of talent. But they're going to have days like this where a defense can't play perfect all season, especially once you lose Trayvon Diggs. And so when they need to rely on the offense, first showing 0 for 1 for the offense when they needed to have a big game. And it came at a time against a really easy opponent, easy as far as, the eye test goes, and the Cardinals being 0-2 at that point. Cowboys still a top 10 team, but barely in the NFL right now. I have the Ravens at number 9. The Ravens fell 3 spots in the power rankings. I had them up at number 6 last week. The injuries are now starting to be a real concern for the Ravens. No Odell Beckham Jr. last week in the loss to the Colts at home. And that's one of those things that you could really see the offensive passing game for Lamar. Week 2, it really exploded. Week 3, no Odell. And it just got out of sync and out of sorts. This Ravens team, I really think, is going to be right in there with their division till the end. I still think they can overcome some of these injuries that get Odell Beckham back healthy. Now, I'm not panicking on the Ravens yet, especially because Lamar has looked good overall. But defensively, losing that game at home to the Colts, really tough. I almost wanted to kick them out of the top 10, but I just kept thinking about over and over again the long-term picture about how I feel about the Ravens. I still feel like the panic button's not out yet for the Baltimore Ravens. So I'll move them down to number 9. If the Ravens and the Cowboys were to play this weekend, I would take the Ravens. So I'll just put it that way. Browns at number 8, new to the power rankings this week. Listen, if Cleveland's not playing this Pittsburgh Steelers, they're going to be fine. Cleveland and Pittsburgh, the Browns struggle against the Steelers is the same as the Bears struggles against the Packers, same as the Jets struggles against the Patriots. Certain teams in the division, the Jags struggles against the Texans. Certain teams in the division, you just struggle against. And that was it for the Browns against the Steelers. They look much improved this week. This defense is for real. It's probably a top 5 defense in the NFL. And if Deshaun Watson plays like that, which is an above average level, then Cleveland's got plenty enough weapons and offensive line play to be really dangerous. So the Browns at number 8. Seahawks at number 7, new to the power rankings. I had a big jump up for the Seahawks. This was a huge trap game for them. The Ravens and the Seahawks had home games against backup quarterbacks and teams with low expectations. One team won and won pretty handily. The other team lost. Seahawks won that game. They handled the Panthers coming in there with a backup quarterback and a team with low expectations kind of throwing it all to the wind, and they played well. The running game got going for Seattle. Defensively, I still have some issues with them, but they are a high-flying offense, and we haven't even seen the rookie Jackson Smith-Njigba yet really break out. So that's all good news for Seattle. They move up, and welcome to the power rankings at number 7. Detroit, moving back up. Now, I know you're saying, Mark, wait a minute, Seattle beat Detroit. Why is Seattle behind Detroit? I still think Detroit overall in the long term is a better team than Seattle. They're taking a little bit longer to figure it out. That was a weird game in Detroit that they lost, and it was a close game anyways. I think the Detroit Lions have a higher ceiling and right now are just still a better team than the Seattle Seahawks, even though they lost them. I know, call me crazy. They're at number 6, moving up 9 spots from last week. Here's what I'll say about the Lions. they look like they're going to be able to really roll through their division. Who do you worry about if you're the Lions right now in your division? The Packers have had really inconsistent play. Jordan Love's been terrible in the fourth quarter, one game, bad, and then amazing in the fourth quarter, another game. The Packers are really beat up on their offensive line, and Jair Alexander missing games, Christian Watson, Aaron Jones. So Detroit is much healthier than Green Bay right now, and they're getting Jameson Williams back, and they're about to get David Montgomery back. Plus, Chicago's a mess. Minnesota is a mess. Detroit really, at this point in time, has to be feeling good about being able to go 6-0 in division. I like the Lions. They're at number 6. Buffalo Bills at number 5. No change for them. I think now the Bills are kind of flying under the radar. That's a good thing. This game against Miami is going to be huge this weekend. It'll be the must-watch game of the weekend. Josh Allen playing great football. Bills at number 5. 49ers at number 4. No change for them as well. The 49ers, listen, love everything I've seen from them. They are a juggernaut of a physical football team. They are the most physical football team in the National Football League, and they have dudes at every single level, at every single position group. The worry comes down to Brock Purdy. And there were times in that Thursday night game that Brock Purdy to me looked small. He looked unathletic. There's a term that gets thrown around a lot for like Justin Fields, any young quarterback that's struggling. They always make the Zach Wilson. Thank you to my own brain. Zach Wilson is the name. Justin Fields, they always say, well, they can make all the throws. Brock Purdy, I truly don't believe can make all the throws in the NFL game and necessary to do it. He's playing really well. He's playing consistent, but I think he is their limit, and that's why I have them at 4. Right behind the Miami Dolphins at number 3. Again, no change for them. 3 last week. They put up 70 points. They stay at 3. Why? It's the longevity of the Miami Dolphins. I'm not surprised they're doing this right now in September. But how do the Dolphins look? How do those Ferraris and all that speed look in November, December, January? I'm just going to be one of those people who's always going to be pumping the brakes on the Dolphins until I see it long term. I will say this about the Dolphins right now, though. They are the best coached team in the National Football League today. Mike McDaniels, Vic Fangio, what they're doing coaching-wise is on another level than any other coach right now today in the NFL with their team. Andy Reid and the Chiefs at number 2, defending Super Bowl champs, a blowout win over my Bears. It was a good kind of get-right game for them. Listen, they got Taylor Swift on their side right now, so they are unbeatable currently. And I know that's joking and simplifying it, but this is the best defense we've seen in Patrick Mahomes' career for the Chiefs. And offensively, the wide receivers, they haven't let them down since week 1. So the wide receivers can just not lose games for the Chiefs. They're going to be more than fine. And then number 1, the Philadelphia Eagles. I had them last week at number 1. I'm sticking with the Eagles at number 1 this week. The whole team was sick, and they still went on the road and beat up on a surprisingly decent Tampa Bay team. This is the best offensive line in football. And I mean, the physicality of the defensive front is matched only maybe by San Francisco. This team is going to rely on that front 7 and that offensive line, and until someone can stop those 1-yard touchdown runs, the Eagles look unstoppable in my opinion. They're number 1 of the power rankings again this week. Finally, really quickly to wrap up on the Chicago Bears, I said it last week, I'll say it again. I'm firmly in the belief that this is the worst coached team in the NFL. The coaching at every level, I think, is just a disaster. Why it took until the fourth quarter of a blowout game in week 3 for us to finally see a simple slant pass to DJ Moore, I don't know. I can't explain it. So many RPOs, so many bubble screens. You're never lining up Justin Fields under center in the I formation. Where's Robert Tonyan? All I heard all offseason was Robert Tonyan this, Robert Tonyan that. Where's Robert Tonyan? Where's Mercedes Lewis? Where's the heavy tight end sets? It's non-existent right now in this offense. Last year, they had an identity in the second half of the year. They led the league in rushing, and they're not doing that this year. Part of that is because they're never in the I formation. They're never under center. It's always Justin Fields in the shotgun with a back to his right, a back to his left, or no back in the backfield. It's just not working. It's really bad coaching on the offensive end. Again, we saw multiple times where receivers were in the same area. Greg Olsen going on the broadcast. Where are they going? Why are they doing that? It's really poor offensive coaching, and the offensive line right now is a disaster. Hopefully, in the next 2 weeks. You get Nate Davis back, you get Tevin Jenkins back. The guard center guard combo with the right tackle with Darnell Wright can all come together, and then this offensive line can be something for the remainder of the year. That's what we're knocking on wood for as Chicago Bears fans. And then also, I will say, how can you be a defensive head coach with the defensive talent that they brought in for you in the offseason, and you're still giving up 25 points a game? You've lost 13 straight games. Matt Eberflus, in my opinion, should be fired. He is the worst coach in the NFL right now. You cannot tell me otherwise. Right now, there is nothing that I believe that he is coaching and doing well. I haven't seen it. If you've seen it on film, show me. I'll respond to it. I haven't seen what Matt Eberflus's coaching influence has done well or improved upon for this Chicago Bears team. That's my overall State of the Union. I'll just wrap up by saying this. The Bears play Sunday at home against Denver. They are underdogs against the Denver team. Just gave up 70 points. That says a lot. But they play Denver and then Washington Thursday night. So 2 games within 5 days of each other. The Bears can turn this thing around quickly. They really do have an opportunity to change this narrative and turn things around quickly. It's going to have to start, though, with the offense changing their philosophy, taking pressure off the defense. This is a defense that cannot stay on the field for longer than they have to control the time of possession. That's what I'm trying to say. The Chicago Bears have to give their defense a break because their defense is terrible because their head coach is terrible at coaching his defense. So it's on Luke Getsy in this offense to run the football, control the clock, get out of shotgun for the love of God, get into rollout situations, play action situations, I formation, get your quarterback under center and take some things off his plate. Give me Robert Tonyan, give me Cole Kmet, give me Darnell Mooney and DJ Moore running simple slot patterns, 5-yard gain, 5-yard gain, quickly moving the ball, controlling the clock. Otherwise, this Bears season is absolutely doomed. I still believe in Justin Fields and the talent this Bears team has. I truly believe this is the worst coached team in football right now.